Alright guys, what's up? Today, I finally got my injectors in from AutoZone. They're nothing crazy, it's GP Sorensen. Supposed to be OEM, like factory spec stuff, so it's not anything like outrageous, gonna give me like wild horsepower or anything out of it. I got them from AutoZone, and they originally told me like, okay, alright, we'll have them here by noon tomorrow, and this was the last weekend. And then they never showed up that day, and they told me it'd be in the next day, and they said it'd be in by noon the next day, and then it ended up coming in around like 6 the next day. So AutoZone kind of made me angry. They were playing with my heart a little bit. But here we are. Pretty much same thing as what's on the car right now. Single port injector, and then it's got a little fuel line that runs to the rail, and then a little ring clamp to tighten it down. So we've got 6 of them. And I'm really curious to see what shape the injectors that are on there now are in. They all look pretty nasty. There's one that looks like it might have been replaced. Let's take you in for a closer look. So the injectors all look pretty dirty, with the exception of, and I don't know if you can see it, that guy right there. He looks like he might have been changed at one point. This guy right here. The rest of them are all black, and that one has a white fitting, so that's why I think he might have been changed at one point. So this rail right here looks like it's going to need to come out. I took the distributor off just so those wires aren't running across there. And then I'm not sure how much of all of this, sorry, my camera's a little loose. I'm not sure how much of all of this is going to have to come off, but I'm just going to try and wing it and see what we get. So yeah, wish me luck, because this is either going to go really smooth or it's going to go not smooth. So we'll see. We will see. Alright, so we've had a bit of a delay in changing the injectors out. So this is the original injector. I'm not really sure how well that's picking up on the camera, but the hoses are really nasty. I had to actually cut each one off of its spot on the fuel rail because it had like fused to the rail. The actual injector part looks pretty gnarly. I don't think these have ever been changed. But when the injector mounts to the motor, it has this little fitting that the injector goes into, and then that screws into a mount on the block, and that's what seals the injector in place. And this piece, the fitting that the injector goes into, is plastic, and again, these are all original, and so that plastic has been on there since 1981, and it's been heated and cooled every time the motor is run. And so when I took them off, I don't know, they pretty much broke on me. They're real brittle. I have 3 off right now and 2 of them are broken, so the plastic is just super worn out. So I ended up getting a new set from TotalZparts.com. Just the same exact thing, plastic again. This is the new injector, so it's actually a little bit shorter than the original, but should do the trick. New fuel line on the end, and then just put that O-ring on there, cinch it down, and then it mounts into place. So I've got 2 on, this one ready to go on, and then I got to take the other 3 off and replace them. It's a bit painful doing this whole process just because the injectors are below here, and to get this fuel rail loose, it's just a lot of moving parts that this whole fuel system is super intricate. And so when I need to get this loose to pull these last 3 injectors out, I ended up having to go all the way around here and loosen a lot of the bolts that hold the fuel rail in all the way around there. So a bit of an extensive process, a little bit more extensive than I had hoped for, but you know, it is what it is. So we've got 2 of 6 done, so hopefully I can knock out those last 4 today and have this thing running by the end of the afternoon. I am going to try and cut the exhaust a little bit more. I think my cat is essentially disintegrated inside of there. It's blowing stuff out the exhaust like a piece of rusted metal and whatnot. So it keeps clogging itself at the end of the pipe. So I think I'm just going to try and eliminate the cat and then just run headers for a while, which is super race car. So we'll see where I get with the injectors, and then if I have time or if I feel like it, we'll see where we go with the headers. But let's get back to work. See, it's already all cracked up. This thing, look at that. Oh my God, I don't know how bad that is on the camera, but that thing is gnarly. Oh man. I mean, the hose is completely dry rotted out. The fitting that the injector fits into is cracked. It's just got goop all over it. I don't know if goop is a word, but I'm making it one. I mean, it is gross. Alright, so the injectors are in, or at least I hope they're in successfully. Had a couple issues with it. I put the injectors on, and the injector has this like rubber fuel line fitted to the back of it, and so when I put it on there, I had to trim all of them, so I had to put them on, fit them, take them off, make adjustments, put them back on, do it again. So these have been on 2 times, and it's been a real pain. Took me a long time, but they're now all in, and everything's tightened down, and everything should be good to go. Key word there, should. So we're gonna go ahead and try and crank her up and see if we're successful. So fingers crossed. The injectors are in, and she runs great. So cranked right up. It idled high for a little bit, but then it just kind of soothed itself out. No fuel leaks, which is great because that whole fuel system is really, really complex, and there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it, and it's not really set up with what I'm used to. So getting in there and doing all that was really a painful process. But overall, successful. Like I said, no fuel leaks. I did, however, forget to tighten down a coolant line that I had taken off. I put the hose back on there but never tightened the clamp down. So that ended up squirting some coolant out onto the block, but no big deal. Just tightened it back down, and she runs great. I took it out on a test drive, and I really feel like I got back a lot of that horsepower that I was losing from fuel starvation. Like I said, some of those injectors were really nasty. I'm talking about like I could peel off gunk from around them, and just these parts that were just degrading while they're sitting on the car. I think that's going to help it perform a lot better. I did get back underneath it and take out the cat, so the cat has been disintegrating and trying to blow pieces out. So like all the honeycomb that's inside of that catalytic converter has been breaking apart and then trying to shoot down the tailpipe and then clogging it up. And it'll get clogged back here, and then as soon as I can build up enough pressure while I'm running it, it'll blow out those pieces onto the road. And that's just not a good situation to be in. So I ended up just cutting the cat off. So right now I'm running headers to a couple feet of pipe. So it's pretty loud. It's pretty ridiculous. I'll go ahead and crank it up and let you guys hear it though. So it's definitely starting to sound a lot more rally car. I don't know if the neighbors are going to be too excited about it, but I think it's great. It's going to be a lot less acceptable for leisure driving, but that's alright. It's a rally car. So fuel system, at least for the most part, has been taken care of. I'm pleased with the results. Exhaust is gone. I think what I'm going to end up doing is ordering a set of performance headers and then just running a straight pipe all the way back. I don't want to leave it the way it is. I'm not sure what's next, so let me know what you guys think I should do next, and stay tuned, and we'll keep working on it.